রেকর্ডিং আসছে? ডেট 22 না? 22 problem solving of overhead absorption. Cost. See, as for example, suppose it is according to example 2. Example 2. Here, see the example. You guys are provided different kinds of indirect cost. Depreciation factory. Factory means building. Then factory repair, factory office, depreciation equipment, insurance equipment, heating, lighting. So these are the different types of indirect costs you guys are provided. And in this area, there are 4 different centers: 2 are production department and 2 are service department. Production department A, B, service X and Y. Right? So in example, you guys are provided production A and B, and service X and Y. These are the things. As for example, you guys are provided depreciation factory 1000. Now the question is how this 1000 will be distributed in between these 4 different centers. We have already discuss the basis how we can distribute this. You can see in your solution segment I provided the basis how you can distribute that. As for example, this depreciation factory 1000 will be distributed according to floor area. So you guys are also provided floor area for different departments. So you can find out how this 1000 will be distributed. Right? So you can go through that. So when you distribute all different kinds of indirect cost, end of the day you will find out the total overheads in production department A, total in B, total in X, total in Y. I have already provided the total amount. So you can use this as a kind of homework in your home. Clear? Okay. So this is called allocation and apportionment, right? So end of the allocation we have total indirect cost associated in different department, but you are initially provided different types of indirect cost. Clear? Now another example I provide here, that is as for example example 3. Example 3. Here see there are 2 departments. One is production and another is service. Production department 1, production department 2, service department store, service department maintenance. Initially overheads. This is called allocated overheads. Allocated overhead is 1030 8970 1234 8000. So these are the overheads for 4 different departments. How this comes through? We have already discussed that this can be calculated through allocation, right? Now our task is to apportion these overheads. Here you guys are provided 2 different situations. See, value of Material requisition is 30,000. This department 50,000 and this department 20,000. See, a store department is providing service to 1, 2 as well as maintenance. So a store department cost should be apportioned in between here, here and here, right? Okay, depend upon the value of material requisition. That means you can say 3:5:2 proportion. Clear? Okay. Then another is maintenance hour is also provided. 8,000, 1,000 and 1,000. See, maintenance department crew are acting for production 1, for production 2, as well as they are providing service to store department, right? So maintenance cost, these 8,000 to be distributed according to these 8:1:1 proportion. Clear? So this is now end of the day. Suppose, as for example, your requirement is to find the overheads in 1 and 2. Amar kaj ki, I have to find out the total overheads in department 1 and 2, production department. That means I have to apportion or allocate service department cost to this department. So this can be done in two different ways. One is algebraic and that is repeated. Repeated distribution. There are two different ways how we can do this. See, I want to say that is, if your store department only provides service to production department 1 and production department 2, then I can easily distribute this 10,000 into these two departments. But store department also provides service to maintenance department. So when you are apportioning this 10,000, this cost will be here, here, even a part of this cost will be charged in here, right? So initially this becomes 0 when you are apportioning them. Then afterwards this total cost will be charged, the total cost overhead of M maintenance will be charged 1, 2 as well as store. That means some cost of maintenance department comes here. That is, if the service provider department provides service only to the production, then it is easy to find out that. But if both the service department act for themselves, then portion of one service department overhead comes in other department, right? This is the problem. So we can solve this problem by two different ways. One is algebraic method, another is repeated distribution method. Number 1, repeated distribution. How we can do that? As for example, our production department 1 and 2 and service department store and maintenance. Initially their overheads was 10030. Its overhead was 8970. Its overhead was 8,000. See, initially apportion store. A store department cost I am just apportioning. That is 10,000. So when this is apportioned, so it will be 0. right? 0. And this cost will be distributed here, here and here, and the proportion is according to the value of material requisition, that is 30, 50, 20. So these 10,000 will be distributed in between these three departments: 30, 20, 10. That means you can say 30, 50, 20, right? This will be 3,000, this will be 5,000, and this will be 2,000, right? Now it is 0, and this maintenance overhead becomes 10,000. Clear? Okay. Then maintenance 10,000. This 10,000 should be apportioned. So it will come 0, and this 10,000 will be distributed in these three departments according to the maintenance hours worked by. Maintenance hours was 8,000, 1,000, 1,000. That means 8,000, 1,000 and 1,000. So here initially 0, but 1,000 comes from the maintenance, this 1,000. Now this store 1,000, which is called reapportion. Initially we have apportion further, but now we have to reapportion this 1,000. Clear? So we will do this in repetitive nature until one specific form, a smaller amount actually comes through. When one, see here, after distributing in several way, here $4 comes in maintenance. This $4 you can distribute either in 1 or 2. This is called repeated distribution or repeated apportion, reapportion you can say. So end of the day you have total overhead 21500 and 1500. It's a method. In exam hall you guys are not asked this amount, this volume, right? But you have to know this. This is repetitive distribution or reapportion. Another way easily you can find out, that is algebraic method. Example 4. Algebraic method. In algebraic method, দেখা যাচ্ছে এক্সাম্পলটা, there are 2 production department, 2 service department, and a store department and canteen department total cost will be distributed according to this percentage they ask. See, a store department cost will be distributed in 50%, 30% and 20%. Service canteen will be distributed 45, 40 and 15. One service is providing service to another department, so repetition is there. Through algebraic you can find out easily. How? Here you guys are provided 2 service department. One is a store. Late total overheads of store equal to S and canteen equal to C. Suppose we assume that is total overheads of a store is S and total overhead canteen is C. This S equal to this S means total overhead of a store. A store initial overhead was provided 90,800. It was, and some portion actually comes from the canteen. Canteen কত পার্সেন্ট আসে স্টোরে? 15%. Canteen overhead is C. So 0.15 C will comes from canteen. As a whole, it will make the total overhead of S. Clear? Then you can say canteen total overhead. Initially canteen overhead was 23600, and 20% of a store comes from a store. So 0.2 S. So these are the two different equations. You can solve this. No the way you can solve these two equations to find out S and C easily. আমি পরবর্তীতে করে দিছি. So after solving these two equations, S equal to 97258 and C equal to 43052. Clear? Now end of the day you have to distribute this amount to other two departments the way is provided. Here there will be no sort of repetitions, so we can avoid this repetition through algebraic method. So you guys maybe ask the question through algebraic method because it is easily identified. Pink is provided, so you can go through this example form. Clear? Now practice for absorption costing. I'll go through some important segment, some important problems, exam style question here. Discussion টা clear হয়েছে না তোমাদের কাছে? কিছু important question আমরা এখানে ডিসকাস করব. খেয়াল করো. Suppose, as for example, number one, you guys have provided G, H, J, K. Initial overheads was 40,000, 50,000, 30,000 and 18,000, right? It was provided. Now they are asking, that is percentage of service cost center J 30%, 70%, K 50%, 40% and 10%. From here you have to find G after the portion G. See, example is just like this. Initially you guys are provided over a different kinds of department. J department overheads to be a portion in between G and H according to 30% and 70%, because G is working for G and H. See, J is not working for K. So you can easily distribute this 30,000 in between. Yeah, it will not be reapportioned. Your K is working for both G, H and Z as well. So you guys are asked to find out after apportion what will be the total overhead of G. In doing this, first of all, see, K actually provides service to J as well. So distribute K first. Why? Suppose this 18,000, 50% will be distributed here, that is 9,000. That means K apportioned. K apportion koto 18,000. 9,000 will be here. What will be the 40% of 18,000? কত আসে দেখো তো? 18,000 into 0.4. into 0.4, 7,200, and 10% of 18,000 is this much. So here K becomes 0. Clear? Now I can apportion J. What is J? Is something more than the provided, right? Some portion comes from K, that is 30,000 plus 1800 কত হয়? 00183, this much, right? So now I can apportion 3180 according to 30% here and 70% here. Nothing will be left there. So this 3180 now will be apportioned and 0. 30%. What will be the 30% of this? 31,800 into 0.3. 9,000. 540. And what will be the 70% of this? 31,000. 31,800 into 0.7. See? বোঝা গেছে আমি কেন K কে আগে করছি? Because some portion of K comes here and J work only for these two. So as a whole these two are distributed, then nothing is there. So now you have to find out what will be the G. Your requirement is G. হ্যাঁ ভুল হয়েছে কোথায়? এটা কত হয় দেখো? 31,800, 31,800 into 0.7. 22,000 ক্যালকুলেটও করতে পারতেছো না? যাই হোক, ক্যালকুলেশন ইজ নট দ্য ম্যাটার, process is the matter. Process বোঝা গেছে? Then you can find out this much. Initial, then apportion portion. Then show some important example I want to say. Suppose as for example 4, number 4. In number 4, a cost center has an overhead absorption rate 4.25 per machine hour. You guys have provided OAR $4.25 per machine hour. You know the meaning now, right? Each and every hour your machine is operated, this much overhead will be absorbed. Based on the budget activity level, budget activity was 12,400 machine hour. In period covered by the budget, actual machine hour worked were 2% more than the budget. So we can find out the actual machine hour is 2% more than the budget. So you can find out that 12400, 2% more, that is 1.02 গুণ করে একবার বের হয় কত আসে? 12,400. 12,400 into 1.02. 1.02. 12,000. So this is the actual machine hour. Now the actual overhead expenditure was 56389 and this is provided. So you are asking to find out the under or over. How you can do that? To find out under over, initially you have to find out absorbed. Mone porteche? Absorbed is wear into actual activity. Here our wear is 4.25 per machine hour, so activity should be machine hour. Here actual hour is, we calculated 12648, right? So what will be the absorbed? Look at that. 4.25 into 12,648, 12,648. 5 3 7 okay, okay. Then actual overhead was provided 56389. So your expectation was under. You can find out that. Clear? Question বোঝা গেছে? একটা বলে দিব আমি। I'll just discuss some important question. Different types of important question. 9. It is one of the important question and it will cover the total concept area. See, you guys are provided two different departments. For your understanding, I'm just writing that. Machine department, assembly department. Overheads, $1,20,000. Here 72,000. These are the overheads provided. Labor hour, per unit, pi here 0.50, here 0.20, 10 here 1 and here 0.25. Budget production, production 4,000. See, the question is just like this. In a factory there are two different departments, machining department and assembly department. Two department, two different overheads. This department total overhead is budgeted at 1,20,000. This department total overhead 72,000, right? This organization is producing two different kinds of product. One is pi, another is 10. To produce each unit of pi, these M require 0.5 hours and this A department require 0.2 hours. To produce each unit of 10, this department require 1 hour and this department require 0.25 hour. Your budgeted production is 4,000 of each individual unit. From this type of data or information, you can find out the total hour required to produce this 4,000 or two different kinds of unit in both this department. See, suppose $4,000 pi. To produce 4,000 pi, and 4010 ওরা বলে দিচ্ছে যে দুইটাই 4000 করে বানাতে। This department require how much time? For each pi they require 0.5 hours. So for 4000 into 0.5 eto hour they require to produce the pi. They are also producing 10. For each 10 they are requiring 1 hour. So plus 4000 into 1. So 2000 into 4000. That means as a whole to produce this much, this department require 6,000 hours as a whole. Clear? At the same time, this department require 4,000 pi. Each pi require 0.2 hours. Plus they are producing 4010. Each 10 require 0.25 hours. So you can find out the total hour. কত আসে এটা দেখো তো, 4000 into 0.2 তাতে কত আসে? 800 আর 4000 into 0.25 1800 টোটাল 1800 আওয়ার। বোঝা গেছে এটা? ক্লিয়ার? ক্যালকুলেশন ঠিক আছে তো? So this is the overheads and you have already find out the activity, right? So you can find out the OAR. OAR means overhead by budget activity. এই ডিপার্টমেন্টের জন্য এই ডিপার্টমেন্টের জন্য 72000 কত আসে দেখো তো, 6 দুগুণে 12 320 তিনটার সঙ্গে 6 দুগুণে। নেক্সট দিন থেকে ক্যালকুলেটর নিয়ে ক্লাস আসবা। এটা কত আসে দেখো তো, 72000 ভাগ 1800, 72000 ভাগ 1800 40। তাহলে এত ডলার পার আওয়ার, এত ডলার পার আওয়ার। It has a meaning when this department is activating each hour it will absorb $20 indirect cost. Process বোঝা গেছে? Now the question is what is the budgeted fixed overhead for pi? To one individual pi this department require 0.5 hours. Each hour its wear is 20. So here the pi will absorb 20 per hour into 0.5 plus this department overhead is 40 per hour. To produce 1 pi this department require 0.2. Pi actually processed here, so it will provide you the total overhead required by pi to produce one individual pi from these two departments. Process বোঝা গেছে? খুব easy. So it will be 80. Another example, important example, আন্ডার ওভার থেকে অনেক কোশ্চেন আসতে পারে। নাম্বার 11 দেখ, a firm recovers overhead on chargeable consulting hour. Budgeted overhead was 6561500. Actual hour was 32,150 hour. Overhead under recovered. Under absorbed 35000. Actual overhead 694,075. you have to find out when you are seeing the under over is there, that means the structure is the structure first, then you can find out the requirement. Structure. Absorbed overhead equal to wear into activity. Actual overhead. You guys are provided actual overhead 694075, and after comparing we can find out the under over. Here you are providing under absorb, that means under absorb is 35000. So what does it mean? According to our conceptual part, under absorb means our expectation was 35,000 under than the actual, right? So we can find out this one. How? This will be the amount of 694075 minus 3500 কত হয় দেখো তো। ঠিক করে বের করো। কত আসছে বলো বলো সংখ্যাগুলো বলো। 6590755. See, if these two results are there, you can say that is this one is 35,000 under than this much. Clear? Now your task is to find out where. So you can write down this here. There is where into actual activity. We find out 659075. Right? Where you have to calculate actual hour. It was provided. Actual hour was 32150 to 659075. So you can find out where 659075 divided by 32150. Clear? So when the word is there, use the structure and then try to find out the thing that is required by you. Clear? So the next question is just like this one. We will discuss on the next classes. We will off. Chapter.